My name is Guangyu Feng. I'm the founder of Chinese Theater Works. In 1995, my life partner, Stephen Kaplan, and I established this company. The mission of the company included to preserve and promote traditional Chinese performing art, including opera, music, dance, shadow puppets, and other kind of puppetry. The second mission is to create original new shows by combining Chinese and American art and aesthetics. The third one is to teach different kind of art form to Chinese descendant and non-Chinese descendants in America and over the world.
My name is Stephen Kaplan. I was born in Stamford, Connecticut, which is about 30 miles from here to the east in the suburbs of New York. I was always interested in art as a young kid. Then when I went to college, University of Connecticut, I discovered puppetry there. They were the only school in North America that had a puppetry major in their theater department. So I dove into that and found that was a really wonderful field for me. The way it kind of fused together all different skills and crafts, the performing arts, the visual arts, dance, movement, literature, and so I found that as a really extraordinary field, and I jumped right into it. Yes! Hello, everybody! My name is Marco Polo. Yeah, that name might ring a bell, right, huh? Well, growing up here in Northeast United States, I really didn't have much connection with Chinese culture other than the food. But when I first got to New York City in the early 80s, I met up with Kwang Yu. I first met Kwang Yu early 80s. And she was really the first Chinese culture performance art I had seen. I had read some Chinese literature, like I had read Journey to the West, The Monkey King, which really impressed me. There was nothing like that in Western literature, and I loved it. And I also read other translations of classical Chinese literature. That was my first connections with it. But once I met Kwang Yu and we started working together, it was a really, really deep dive into the heart of Chinese culture. And I feel that performing arts, and especially puppetry, preserve these very ancient levels of a culture. They give them form and shape and voice. And so I was really honored to be part of that and to learn that and to explore it and to come into contact with all these great Chinese artists who we began working with once we started Chinese Theater Works. And I always loved shadow puppetry. That was when I started studying puppetry at the University of Connecticut. My first semester as a student there was a course in shadow puppetry. So that was kind of my first love. Yarr. Ooh. Yeah, tiger jumps over the coffee cup. Wow, wow, oh. And because I'm a graphic artist and I love moving images, I was really enthralled by that. And then later on, working with Kwang Yu and working with Joe Humphrey from the Yue Lung Shadow Theater, I really became immersed in it and starting to perform it and learn it as a practical performance skill. I loved it even more. And now I feel like part of my mission is to work, we're sort of the stewards of this very, very large collection of shadow figures. One of the biggest private shadow collections outside of China, so certainly in the United States. And it's ours. We have to tend it and care for it and try to bring them back to life. Hey, float away. Hit the road.
So you got all your stuff, Medina?
Yeah.
Because we don't have to come back after.
Yeah.
All right, call Shanti. Oh, I did. I read it. Okay, never mind.
That makes them like stop dead in their tracks and say, wait, wait.
So like up here?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh, then we can just
Or if you have multiple together, you know, they can kind of share it
We
or
can
something.
have tiger, chicken, stick, and worm all say it in their
Right.
Yeah,
languages.
and that's
Rain,
the guys from other
life.
shows. So like we have like our turtle guy. We have Zhonghui here can say it.
Oh,
I
yes,
brought
Zhonghui.
these three guys. I just think they're kind of like iconic, and some.
All
I
right.
brought the guys from Monkey King too.
Should be good.
Yeah.
All right, so if we're
that's-
almost set up, let's
so we
start
can
doing
try
it
to
now.
do it.
Okay, so first idiom is leaping dragon. They could be sitting in the chair next to you, right? Like that kid there could be a hidden talent. Right, that's what that means. Crouching tiger.
And the co-artistic director, Steven Kaplan.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the equipment and the design of the shows because that's a big part of my job in Chinese Theater Works. And when we make shows, we're very conscious of a number of things. Because we're a very small organization, we don't have a lot of money, and we also don't have a lot of workspace. The studio spaces we had varied in size, but they're mostly pretty small. And so we wanted to think about ways of compressing space in terms of our space needs for our work and also for performing. Because if we're touring to libraries and museums and schools, you really don't know what kind of room they're going to put you in. They might put you in a corner of a classroom or on a big auditorium stage. So we needed to find ways of making shows that could work in different scales. And this helped us financially because we didn't need as many puppeteers, but it's a kind of a technical challenge. So one of the ways we used to kind of overcome that was creating shadow puppet shows on the overhead projector. I don't know how many of you remember what an overhead projector is, but before the digital era, there were these machines that projected an image. You put a transparency up here, it went through a lens up here, and got shown up onto a wall. And you could mess around and perform with it, with the image or write on it. But we use these great old machines for performance stages. So our hand puppets like this, lying flat on the stage like this, and we would make special ones that were totally transparent. So they really became animated images, like doing actually like doing live action cartoons or animation. So I found that really exciting to play with. And then we found it was extremely practical too for the kind of small touring that we were doing, because you could pack the whole big show, whole 40-minute show, into a little suitcase with another case for the overhead projector and go anywhere. You could take it on a plane, and we performed it overseas in China and other countries. So it was really great for that. And once you get to a spot, you can make an image. You know, the puppets are very, very tiny, but the image on the screen can be any size, up to 15 or 20 feet, depending on how much space you have. So you can play them for a big audience. And that's very, very practical for us in terms of wanting to reach a big audience with something that we can still pack in our little car. So that's an example of how the technology choices we made were based on practical reasons and also design and technical reasons.